Hi, it's Jill Horowitz here. I'm very excited to have Nicolas Fry with us today. He's an alumni extraordinaire, and something really unique about Nicolas is both of his parents went to Broward College. So he was following in footsteps here. He went to high school and college at Broward, which I will let him tell you about. Beside the fact he is a big superstar at Citrix, he's on their senior management team. So without further ado, let's hear best from Nicolas himself. Nicolas, why don't you tell us about yourself and what you're doing now?
Sure. So my name is Nicolas Fry. I'm a senior consultant here at Citrix, and my role is to help our customers be successful with our technology. So in a nutshell, prior to the pandemic, and if you're watching this in the far future, there's a pandemic going on right now during this interview. I would fly to customer sites and help roll out our software from, just designing and planning the deployment all the way to managing and maintaining it. Now I work remote and I do the same thing. Things are going well, and I accredit a lot of the skills that I have in terms of how to break apart a problem to my education from Broward. I actually went through College Academy at BC, so I earned my high school diploma and my AA at the same time, both from Broward College.
Wow, that's so wonderful. So is there any professors that stood out, or tell us about your experience of doing both high school and college level courses?
Sure. I would say all my professors at Broward were great. I mean, I could name a few, I can name a lot. Every department I've worked with, even in areas where I really struggled, like English actually was my hardest. Looking back, a lot of my role now is a lot of reading and writing, great economics professors, great math professors. I would say the education overall was fantastic. I think given that it was a college level course for a high school, you have to be a little more mature to manage your workload, but it's like anything. If you have great lectures, great professors teaching it, anything's possible. Nothing's hard, if you put the time in.
And what was the bonus? You said you met somebody there. What was that all about?
So my wife, Sarah Marino, is actually an alumni of Broward College as well, and we kind of grew up on opposite sides of the county. I'm from Weston, Florida, and she's from Hollywood, Florida, and Davie, which is where we went, is smack in the middle, and that's where we met. And 8 years later, we're married. So we're 7 technically last year. So.
That's a great ending to it. So with everything that you're doing, what inspires you to get up in the morning, with such a good background and so much success?
What inspires me to get up in the morning is that we can always do better. I mean, you have to look at where you're at in life right now, and things are good, but if you get complacent, it's game over. And I think swinging for the fences every day with anything I do, whether it's a customer engagement, whether it's playing pickleball on the court, you got to give it your all. And the day that I become complacent, I'm not me anymore. So that's, really what gets me out of bed is doing my best. And, how can I be better today? And more importantly, how can I set myself up to be 10 times better tomorrow?
And then you mentioned that from BC, you went on to UF. So how was that different experience, and where did that lead you to?
Sure. So UF was a little bit different because I got in as a transfer. I would say the biggest difference was definitely the class sizes. In Broward, we had, I don't remember, but I could say it was a handful. I mean, maybe less than 15, less than 20 for sure, I could say, in a class. Whereas when I went to university, there was lecture halls with 200-300 students, and I really got a lot of individual attention. I also really enjoyed that the transition between Broward to UF was almost seamless, because when you go to a Florida school, all the credits transfer. And the best part is when you go to Broward, the education is so affordable, I didn't even have to take student loans. So for me, going from community college to UF and now to where I'm at, I have no loans, which allowed me to take a lot of risks in real estate and other ventures. So it's worked out for me.
That's great. That's great. Was there any advice that you were given that you want to share?
Yeah. The best thing I could say is school is great. Understanding the fundamentals is great, but what's most important is taking that education and applying it. So if you just have a degree coming out of anywhere, I mean, it could be high school, Broward College, UF, other institutions, the degree is nice, but it's not going to do much unless you have the work experience to go with it. So it's kind of a hand-in-hand situation. I would even go as far as saying when I went to Broward College, I was selling insurance. I was working at the swap shop. I was doing anything I can to make money. And then even when I went to UF, I consistently worked too, whether it was tutoring or being a teaching assistant. I took a semester off and worked at Ultimate Software. I had internships in Boca Raton for doing software engineering. That work experience is just as important as your education. And if you have one but not the other, and it goes both ways, you know, you're putting yourself in a tough spot when you graduate. So definitely, you know, go through the education, also get the work experience with it, even if you do it at the same time. And look, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. If it takes you a little bit longer to graduate, you know, in any circumstance, it's better if you took 6 years to get out of the, you know, the education system while having 5 jobs on your resume and 5 very impactful roles than being book smart and not having anything else to show for it. That's what I would say to someone today who's going to, you know, choosing to go to a college or where they want to be. You got to have that work experience.
Right. And if everyone would want to press the LinkedIn button on Nicolas's profile, you will see all the great jobs that he has had, including being at Citrix for such a long time. So did you have a favorite quote that you would want to share with everyone that you think about?
Yeah, I don't know the exact proverb, but it comes down to for those who dare succeed. And the idea is, you know, if you're in a position to take risks, take them, because the worst case, you could say, I learned something, so there's a benefit. The best case is you have a really good reward and it, you know, compounds and it only gets better. So there's no bad risk you can take unless it, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, weigh your risk yourself, but, you know, for those who dare really are the ones who succeed. The people who sit on their hands or keep them in their pocket won't climb that ladder of success.
That's so nice. So it sounds like the size of the corporations that you're working with are quite large, correct? You said they're enterprise and multiple size companies. So what's something that you get super excited about? Is it the big companies you're working with, or what would you say?
I think what gets me the most excited about my job is delivering a good customer experience. So in my job, you know, part of the professional services organization, you know, we go onto a customer site and it's usually 2 scenarios. We're doing some kind of issue resolution because something's not working. So if we do our job and we do it well, they come out with a smile. And if it's a net new design or, you know, a design update, we're basically enabling people to do well. So I'll give you an example. I'm not allowed to say the company name, but it's a company that has a lot of trucks on the road. I'll leave it at that. Very, very large corporation. And we did all of their call centers using Citrix so they could work remote. And we actually enabled them to successfully work throughout the pandemic from home, doing their job, and potentially after the pandemic for years to come. So we enable people to continue driving success at their jobs and, you know, being able to get up every day and work without having to put themselves at risk. So that was an awesome outcome, you know, being able to run a call center from your house.
Great. Okay. So what about something that you're deeply grateful for?
I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I've had and the guidance I've had. I mean, if you look at, you know, both my family, and when I say my family, I mean my family and Sarah's family, you know, I've just been very fortunate from the beginning to have awesome guidance. Like when my parents said, hey, why don't you consider Broward College? Cyberspace, cool, but graduating with an AA and a high school degree is even cooler and will save us some money. So I said, okay. And then when I went there, you know, working, you know, someone said, why don't you work while you do it and get some work experience? You know, so that was good. Just, you know, it's really been a lot of awesome privilege and guidance from my parents and my family and my educators. I really feel like I've been given a good hand, so I'm thankful for that.
That's wonderful. So do you have any heroes that you want to share with us? You know, everyone's in a different industry or has different sensitivities. So what would be one of your heroes that you would say you admire?
I would say my hero would be my dad. And not that it's a cliche answer, but growing up, you know, I watched my dad leave Broward Sheriff's Office to start a factory in our garage when we lived in Plantation. And then I grew up watching him grow that business from nothing to where he's at now. And that was really inspiring. So that's, you know, seeing someone make it from nothing is, is incredible, and to live and be part of that.
Wow. So do you have a vision for your future? What would you say you envision for your future?
I have to bite my tongue a little on that because there's things that could be in the works, but every day I wake up is going to be towards a better tomorrow for both me and everyone around. So that's how I believe it.
And that's just terrific. That makes us all so happy. So is there anything else you wanted to say to somebody that might be considering taking your track, maybe engineering, going to Broward College and doing the tough classes and seeing the successful outcome?
Yeah. What I would like to say to you is that everything happens at different rates. So if you're in a class and someone's getting a concept that really clicks with them really quickly, you're like, how are they doing that? Like they must be geniuses. You know, I'll use calculus as an example, but in my case, it wasn't calculus. It was American literature. I know it sounds crazy, but you know, the reading and writing was not my strong point. I was always like a mathy science student. All it takes is time. I mean, you know, someone might get something at the snap of a finger. It might take you a little longer, but I guarantee you there's something you're very good at and you can do in a snap of a finger that person can't. And being able to recognize your strengths and more importantly, what you could do better at early on is good because then you can work to improve it and be well-rounded. That and then kind of to that previous point, the work experience definitely goes hand in hand. You know, if you're going to go down any kind of engineering track, whether it's, you know, traditional software engineering, whether it's, you know, enterprise software consulting, you know, having those internships on your resume, even if that means taking a semester off or going part-time, that's where you want to be, because at the end of the day, you're going to be competing against people who, you know, may have just only studied the book or only have work experience. Even if it took you 6 years or 7 years to get your degree, no one cares. Your recruiter's not going to ask, well, why did it take you 7 years between community college and you know, university or whatever to get your degree? What they're going to see is, oh, this person worked, you know, at this company, they did this role, they had this internship, they did this role, and they have this breadth of experience. This person will be a great addition to our team. That's what they're going to see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Nicholas. It's great to talk to you. I hate to end this, but we will do that in the interest of time, and we'll look forward to seeing you when you come on campus and mentor some students in person when the time is right. So thank you again, and we appreciate you loving Broward College. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill.